Hey there everyone, welcome back to this React series. I am Rohan and today we are gonna look at something important in React, some basics of React. We'll be looking into building some components and we'll be deleting everything out here and we'll be building everything from scratch, this all app and all, so that you can get an idea of how things are working and what are some components and things like that. Hope that you have reached this point where your hello world app is running out, and today we'll be exploring a bit more. So what we can do is we can delete this all the apps out here, all the files out here. So I will just delete this all the files from here. Let me delete. Okay, I'll delete app.js. okay, I'll also delete index.css. I'll delete logo one. I'll delete index. So everything is cleaned up now. If you go ahead and run your app now, it will give you error that index.html, index.js file is not found, right? So you can see that the error is index.js file is not found. Basically what is it is saying. So we told about that the entry point of React app should be index.js, right? So you need a index.js file because this index.js file will be rendered out here in the public folder of HTML, right? This particular root here, index.html, should be rendered, right? So index.html is the entry point, and you decide inside index.html what are the components should render. Then again, whatever components are rendering inside index.html, you decide what are the components will be rendered inside them. So it is kind of tree structure. Remember we talked about the virtual DOM and DOM in the previous video. This is what the thing is. So we'll understand how to bring on React first of all. So we have already installed React, as you can see out here, json.package.json, and if you go to dependency, you already have this React and React DOM. This is one of the basic things that React app requires. So what we'll be doing is we'll be importing them. You can simply say import brings a dependency React from React, right? So this brings React from React, and one more is React DOM from React DOM. So as you can see, this particular dependencies I have brought, this React DOM, remember we talked about DOM and things like that in the previous video. This is that DOM only. So what happens is you have a React which allows you to write components and things like that, and you have React DOM. React DOM generally gives you a document object model where you can render your app, right? So how this works is you create a React DOM using React DOM, right? And it is having several other methods, but the method we'll be using is render. So we're telling React DOM to render something on the screen, and it takes two parameters. The first one is the element you want to render on the query provided in the second parameter. So let's go and first query provide in the second parameter, that is document.getElementById, and remember the ID we talked about in this particular HTML file, that is root, right? So we are gonna insert something in the root, right? And what we wanna insert, we wanna insert something that is related to HTML. So suppose we wanna insert something known as p tag, right? So we'll like hello React, hit save. Now go to there and start your server. Let's see what is the result we are getting. Come on, you can do better. Yeah, you can see this is the previous one. I'll close this. It's loading up. Starting a development server. Come on, you can do better. Yeah, as you can see, it is compiled successfully, and you can see hello React out here. So the twist is, this is particular HTML element, and what happens is when you create a functional component or class-based component, remember the name component, we'll be talking about this also. Component, you can render that component actually. So a component later on behaves as a HTML element. For example, components are functional or class-based. Let's see your functional component first. So functional component, suppose I name it app component, right? So inside app component, what you can do, you can return a HTML JSX that we saw. So you can do return, and return, what do you want to return? You want to return a div, and inside div you can return p and hello react from app, right? So suppose I will add one more paragraph, that is h1 YouTube tutorials, right? As you can see, we haven't given any news, that's why it's showing error. We'll be bringing this app and entering this app here. It will give error. Let it compile. It worked out, but if you go to this particular thing, you can see it will give error. Some error it will give. It's not coming anything, right? So the thing is, we are not using it as a component. For using it as a component, you need to give it inside this angle brackets, so that it is treated as a component. And if you now go to here and refresh the page, see, you get the output. So this is the reason that, you know, this React DOM, it's so much useful, right? It allows to render a app inside a particular query selector, right? I hope this app its thing is clear. So I hope you have got what React does, what React DOM does. React allows you to write JSX and other features as well, you will be seeing, whereas React DOM renders your component into a query selector, right? So what now? Let me give you an interesting scenario that I have brought out here. So what are components? Let's see what are components. Suppose you have an app, and you have a landing page of the app. People generally have landing page on their app, so whenever a user visits it, he sees it, right? Again, you have a about component as well in that app. So people, you want to show your about you to the people, so they can see the about as well. Now the trick is, what happens, this app will have a landing page as well as a about page. So this particular thing and this particular thing can be treated as a components of the app, right? And the interesting thing is, this footer component also can be plugged in this particular landing page and this particular about page, and that is known as reusable component. So imagine having a page where you have this particular footer, right? This particular footer, and this particular part of the app only is reloading. This particular part is not reloading. So imagine you are writing a landing page, you are having a footer. You need to write the footer 2 times, one in landing page and one in about page, right? But the thing is, if you are treating footer as a reusable component, you only need to write the footer only one time, and you can simply plug in here and, you know, use that. We'll be seeing this in the code as well, right? And one of the best thing is, you know, if you are suppose adding a new component, suppose you want to give a contact page as well in your app, right? So you can do so that also, you can do that also, right? You can just add a new component and it will be contact us page, right? And what you can do is, you can simply bring on this component and plugged in your app. That's it. And again, this footer can be used in 3 of these components, right? So this brings the idea of components, of reusable component, and any component can be rendered inside any component, and there could be a depth of any level. So you can have components and component inside component. That's fine, right? So let's look into again this. component. So I hope that this component is clear. We'll be creating a scenario of this particular thing in the next video. And one last thing I want to show you is, suppose I remove this particular div, right, from this app component. I hit save. As you can see, it shows me an error. Why it shows me an error? It says, do you want a JSX fragment? That is this. So the thing is, the component, any component you are rendering or returning, only should have one parent level element. That means that you can't have two sibling elements. You must have any parent element on a single parent element. Inside it, you can have any number of elements, but the returning component should be one parent element. So now it works. See, so you have to create a parent element. If you are not creating a div parent element, you can create this also. This is not a React fragment, right? So it works right now, right? If you remove this particular thing, it will again fail. See, so you can have only one parent component, that is high level component, right? So I hope this is some kind of idea of this component is clear. We'll be seeing more into depth. We'll be implementing this particular scenario in the next video. I'll see you next time. If you're new, consider subscribing, hit that like button and share this video. That was so quick, right? So do subscribe the channel, and I'll see you next time. Take care.